Now, back to the Conservative Party conference. The party may want this to be the Rishi show, but it wasn't the government that was bringing the fireworks today. No, instead, it was the former Prime Minister Liz Truss running what appeared to be a bit of a parallel conference of her own. Speaking at the Great British Growth Rally, Truss addressed a warm crowd where she called for corporation tax cuts, fracking, and the building of 500,000 new homes in England. The room was so supportive, you might almost forget that just a year ago, Truss's own conference was collapsing around her. And a few weeks later, she was out. But now, could the much-maligned former PM pose a genuine threat to Rishi Sunak? Joining me now is the Conservative MP for Southend West, Anna Firth. Anna, welcome to you. You're a supporter of Liz Truss. Just put some meat on the bones, if you could. I mean, fringe events happen all the time, not unusual for former cabinet ministers, even former prime ministers to speak. But there's clearly a motivation here. Something's going on. What's happening?
Well, I don't actually recognise your characterisation of the conference. I didn't go to Liz Truss's growth rally. I've been at the conference all day, going from one fringe event to one fringe event. It's the biggest conference ever. There's a really the real buzz in the air today. Huge number of people up here, and no one has actually been talking to me about a Liz Truss event.
Sorry, are you actually at the Tory party conference?
I most certainly am, and I started my first fringe this morning talking about Premiership League football regulation, government's flagship policy. I went on to do an early years fringe event where there's a lot of positive feedback about the government's policy on early years. I've been at a water event. I've been at an animal welfare event, and I can genuinely assure you, nobody has been talking to me about Liz Truss or any growth rally.
The word on the street, if you like, and I think there's quite a lot of people echoing and quite happy to confirm this, is that it's like an episode, it's like Carry On Up the Khyber over there in Manchester at the moment. Everything's falling apart, HS2 and the speculation, and there's reverses and emergency press conferences are being called and ministers being told what to say, and Liz Truss going totally against everything that Rishi Sunak stands for. That's not really what you'd expect in terms of a conference that's supposed to, at least at some level, Anna, it's supposed to at least show a certain togetherness and a certain cohesiveness in your party.
Well, I mean, all I can say
am I the first person
that's
telling you all this?
About no, I heard something about Liz Truss doing something, but that doesn't. I suppose it doesn't wholly surprise me. But I've been from reception to reception while I've been up here, and I haven't bumped into Liz Truss myself. I've listened to addresses from Rishi at the London reception this evening, which was incredibly well received. He's obviously narrowed the polls considerably in the last week. He's obviously come out with numerous policy announcements which are resonating with voters, and we're all very excited to hear his speech on Wednesday. So I don't actually feel that we've got a divided conference up here at all. From what I'm seeing, it's very upbeat. There's everything I'm going to is very together. People are focusing on issues that they're passionate about, and there's a lot of good feedback for what the government's doing.
And just a final point on, Liz Truss was somebody that you did support, of course. But in terms of that idea of singing from one hymn sheet, what is it about party conferences? But it seems particularly Conservative Party ones, Anna, where rather than what many people would say will be the right thing, back the Prime Minister, make sure publicly, if nothing else, you have his back and you're going to sing from the rafters about what a great bloke he is and everything he does is fantastic and the future is bright, etc. And then you have a former Prime Minister who was only in the job half an hour ago saying the very opposite to what the government are suggesting in terms of economic policy and the like. Why would somebody do that?
Well, I mean, it's not something I would do. It's not something which I think obviously is a particularly helpful thing to do. It's clearly the actions of somebody who feels somehow that they've still got something that they want to say. But clearly, you point out, yes, I did support Liz Truss last summer, but when she actually got into office, I like the idea of us going for growth, but the reforms that she tried to bring in, she brought in far too fast and without any proper consultation. And that's why, ultimately, her premiership failed. And what she's trying to do up here, I don't know. I haven't met her. She hasn't spoken to me. All I can tell you is that as I go around these receptions up here, there's a hugely upbeat atmosphere. And everybody's interested in listening to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is speaking to party members, and his messages are going down very well.
Anna Firth, thank you. MP Anna Firth with us here, a former supporter of Liz Truss, I think we can say. Let's go back to Emily and Jeff. She was the most optimistic MP I think I've ever seen